All right, welcome back to another day of saddle rents. We got a nice rainy Wednesday in LA, and you don't get very many of them, so I'm out here enjoying it, getting a little damp. So when I was a kid, I rode my horse like it was a bicycle. I wanted to go visit the neighbors next door. I ran out there, threw a bridle or a halter on, swung up, and away we went. And so when I decided that I needed to elevate my game and be a little bit more, learn some more formal education and be able to compete with others in a show ring, my first job was weeding an onion field. And I took my $3 an hour and I saved them up, and I'd buy myself a riding lesson. And, that was kind of the mindset that I had, is that there was, that was kind of precious. That schooling, that groundwork that you learn in the arena and that formal education in riding was very precious. Now, some 45 years later or something like that, I never once in a million years thought that I'd be out here doing what I used to do for shits and giggles and kicks, and actually having people ask me to take their horses out because they were actually afraid to take their horses out and do stuff. And that this was the unconquered frontier, okay? So everything's kind of turned on its head for me. I'm like, this is in this world, apparently, this is where my value lies, in being able to take a horse out there, get it to cross water, get it to be, handy and a veteran of out here on the trail, safe for trail riding. So I got to thinking, because when you're out here, you got time for thinking, or audiobooks or podcasts or whatever. But I was thinking about the Nebulous Circles, right? And you can look at the arena work as nebulous circles being like the whole wax on, wax off stuff from Karate Kid, where they're actually learning something, though they're really not learning anything. But to me, I think it's a wrong place to develop a horse. I think you should start with a task. I think you should try it. And then I could say, take for instance, opening a gate and closing a gate from on top of your horse. Okay? If you were to break that down into all of the little things that you would need, you would first need a horse that you could manage with one hand, and that you wouldn't need to necessarily direct rein. Okay? And then from there, you'd need a horse that was able to have a good back, be able to leg yield, stand, be able to have you just kind of be able to reach over and grab hold of something and not move away from a gate that's, moving at it, and be able to give pressure to a gate to close it, But at the end of the day, it is really opening and closing the gate that teaches the horse to open and close the gate. Yes, you can go and say, you know what? I need to work on my leg yield. I need to work on my backing. I need to take every opportunity to, work on backing that horse up, right? And that's great. But the task, we're talking about a task here. And so when I am asked for my 2 cents when it comes to working in the arena, I very often like to use cones. And some can say, oh, well, you got those dressage markers, and yeah, that's for the rider. That's not for the horse. But I've found that if you put cones and poles and certain things down and you run through an exercise, the horse gets a visual cue to go along with your verbal and your body cues and aids. And if you do it more than a couple times, the horse is actually helping you. And the exercise gets easier and easier and easier because, the horse actually knows what you want. Like, he knows, or she knows, that there's a transition at the cone, or you're asked to steer and bend through a certain serpentine or whatever. And so you actually get a horse that's helping you versus a horse that's just yielding and moving off of your leg and your rein and your seat. And I think that's more beneficial. The other problem with the circles upon circles upon circles and everything is that when you go into a ring and you're wanting to supple and you're wanting to move a horse, it's kind of an adversarial situation, or even causing anxiety. You're asking a horse to bend and give to pressure where he doesn't necessarily know what you want, or doesn't really want to give it because his body isn't able to, right? So it's kind of adversarial. And when you do that day in, day out, day after day, year after year, like, what kind of horse do you think you can expect to have? What kind of relationship do you think that you might end up with? For me, I like coming out here because when I'm out here, it's me and my horse against the world. Like, we're developing a partnership here. And, I never put this horse in a situation that is not safe. Like, I'd never put this horse in a situation where I can cause it to lose trust in me. And every single time she accomplishes or he accomplishes something out here, be it going past a dump truck or garbage truck, plastic bags, whatever, I say, hey, you know what? I can trust this mare with my life too. And we develop a bond. So when I go from being out here and realizing that, maybe I need to work on my ability to leg yield or shorten and lengthen a stride or do all of those things, and I go in there to the ring and I ask for it, my horse says to me, well, he hasn't done me wrong so far. Okay, I can try, I can do it. Versus the other side of the coin where it's like, why are you hanging on me? Why are you putting your leg on me? I don't know what you want. And this adversarial stress thing, and the horse gets uptight. The horse gets hotter. And then you guys end up in a place where you just had a big argument for an hour. That's my 2 cents. I'm going to call this one Nebulous Circles, because if you're not really working towards a certain goal and trying to help yourself do a task, that's all they are. Folks, I think it's time to take your horseback riding out of the dojo and get out on the street.